Let the wild winter wind bellow and blow. I'm as warm as a July May toad. There's peaches on the shelf, potatoes in the bin, supper ready, everybody come on and taste a little of the summer. Taste a little of the summer. Taste a little of the summer. Grandma put it all in jars. Well, there's a fruit cellar down below. Watch your head now and down you go. Peaches on the shelf, potatoes in the bin. Supper ready, everybody come on in and taste a little of the summer. Taste a little of the summer. Taste a little of the summer. Grandma put it all in jars. Well, maybe you are weary and you don't give a damn. I bet you never tasted her blackberry jam. Peaches on the shelf, potatoes in the bin. Supper ready, everybody come on in now. Taste a little of the summer. Taste a little of the summer. Taste a little of the summer. Grandma put it all in jars.
This afternoon I'm going to make some relish. It's a favorite of mine, been around for a long time. I got the recipe from my mother-in-law years ago. So I have a food processor here, and I have salt and onions and cucumbers and celery and red and green pepper, a couple of cauliflower, jug of vinegar, a few spices, a big pot, put it all in, some bottles to bottle it up with. I've already been out to a local farmer's market to buy some of my produce, and then I had to go to the grocery store to get the vegetation, to get the, the spices and the vegetation that I couldn't get at the farmer's market. So, as I go through this, I'll give you the details on the process as it comes about. Hope you like it. Cucumbers is peel them. So with that knife, just take the ends off. And I peel most of the green off the cucumber. Luckily I have a garbage disposal in the sink, so it makes the cleanup a lot easier. And you don't have to get every little speck off, but I tend to clean them up fairly good. Once I do that, I split them in half. You be careful of your fingers when you're doing this. And the pulpy seed in the middle of the cucumber, you don't want that. So I just take a spoon and I clean that out, like so. And then they're ready to be cut up a little finer, chunked up, and then put through the food process. So the red and green peppers, I start with a whole pepper, and I open it up and I take the seed sections out of the middle of it. Same thing with the green, and they will be chopped up in smaller pieces. Let me get the tail end of that out of the way. Anyway, you get the idea. They'll be chunked up, and they will be put through the food processor. Okay, this will show I have a bowl here with mixed vegetables in it. Cucumber, red pepper, green pepper, and I've filled the bucket on the food processor. So that has to have the top put on it, or it won't run. And then it should be locked on in place. So I just leave it there until the stuff is pureed fairly well, and then it gets dumped into the big pot. So the chopped stuff that's out of the food processor already, it's fairly fine grind, and eventually this pot will be built up quite full. I'll take a whole cauliflower like this. The first thing I did with it was cut it in half, and then you take each half and you break it up into these little florets that are small enough to go into the food processor. Same thing with the celery. If you just chop your celery into bits like that, it'll go in the food processor and it'll come up very fine. And eventually you'll end up with a whole pot full of this pulp from your vegetables. Okay, I'm at the point now where I've got all my vegetables are all ground up. They're all in the pot. And what I didn't say earlier on was that there actually is a recipe for this. So I am following a recipe which calls for 4 cups of onions, 8 cups of cucumber, cauliflower, red pepper, green pepper, salt, water, etc. And because relish is pickled, salt is a pickling agent. It has to sit overnight. So what we do now is we take 2 cups of salt, pour that in, and it takes a couple quarts of water. I've already put a quart in. This is my other quart coming here. You put the water in, you mix the salt in, and then this is going to sit overnight. And what the salt will do is it'll start to soften and break down the vegetables, and it'll start the pickling process. Tomorrow, I will drain it, strain it, cook it, and bottle it. We'll get to that tomorrow. So, this is what it looks like. Put the lid on that, we'll let it sit overnight, and tomorrow we'll cook up a nice big batch of relish. Okay, making relish, day 2. Actually a rainy day here today, so it's a good day to cook this. But first it has to be strained. So what we have a big pot full of the vegetables that we chopped up yesterday. They've been soaking overnight in a salt brine. So in here I have a screen, a smaller stainless bowl, and a large stainless bowl. So what I'm going to do I have to drain the excess liquid off of this and rinse the salt. So what I will do is I'll put it in this screen. I press it a little bit. Just press it, squeeze some of the water out as best you can. It'll help dry it up and transfer it to the big bowl. And do that until you have the whole batch done. So I've drained my pulp and squeezed as much of the water out of it as I can. And now it's time to add the rest of the ingredients, including the spices. Now there's a little bit of flour goes in this for thickening, and it takes 4 cups of brown sugar. So I've already put the brown sugar in a bowl, and I have the flour in a cup. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix those two together. It helps the flour from getting too lumpy when it's in the mix. So basically just mix that in here and then dump it in the pot with the rest of the ingredients. Then I'll be pouring vinegar, mustard seed, and turmeric in on top of that, and then simmer it probably for about an hour. And while it's being simmered on the stove and cooking for an hour, I will wash my bottles, which are over here, and they need to be sterilized in boiling water before you do any canning. You want to make sure that you're not going to get sick from any of this stuff when it's done. So sterilize your bottles really well, cook the stuff for about an hour, and then bottle it. So I'm going to shut this off. I will put my brown sugar, flour, turmeric, and mustard seed in the mix and get it cooking. So this stuff is cooked for a bit. Probably get close to an hour, get it up to a nice simmer. So I've washed my bottles, cauterize them. I put my lids in a pot and poured a kettle full of boiling water over them. I'm just using this kind of a thing here to decant into the bottles, and then I'll cap them, put them in a box, let them cool, and I don't know how many I'll get out of this, but we'll see. So I've finished my bottling. I have a full case there, a dozen, 9 more there, 21, and a half. And these are half-liter jars, 500 ml jars. So very good. I got 21 and a half bottles of relish. Took me about an hour and a half yesterday to chop everything up, peel all the vegetables, get it ready, and about an hour and a half today to cook and bottle. So time very well spent, I think.
And the songs of the whippoorwill and the morning dew and the evening moon. I really gotta go down and see her soon, 'cause the canned goods that I buy at the store ain't got the summer in them anymore. You bet Grandma, as sure as you're born, I'll take some more potatoes and a thunderstorm. Peaches on the shelf, potatoes in the bin. Supper ready, everybody come on and taste a little of the summer. Taste a little of the summer. Taste a little of the summer. Grandma put it all in jars.